I am playing the original Super Mario Bros. Or Super Mario Bros. On the Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm actually playing this on my Nintendo Switch 2 through Nintendo Switch Online. And I've played this game before. I mean, I played this when I was a very little kid. But I gotta say, it's still just as much fun today, and maybe even more fun, because you appreciate how its simplistic design is entertaining, and you don't need the best graphics. You don't need, all this like crazy RPG elements and this and that. It's like you don't need all this stuff. Look at how basic this is. Like, you jump up, you hit a block, a mushroom comes out, you become bigger, then you hit another block, and now you can throw fireballs at people. Then you can hit a shell. See? I hit a shell. And luckily it didn't come back and hit me, because that happens to me a lot in these games. But one thing is, this can also be a challenging game, because you can't sustain that much damage in these games. Okay, so like if you get hit by an enemy and you're in the small Mario stage, or like the phase that you start the game with, you're done. I mean, it's like you can't get hit that many times here. Like, so now that I'm I guess, what is it called? Fire Mario? I keep saying Mario. I think it's supposed to be Mario. But if you're in this phase, you can sustain some damage. You'll go from Fire Mario to regular Mario, and then to small Mario. But if you're small Mario, I believe after one hit, and I'm dead. But after one hit, you're dead. In this case, I fell through a gap because of, my poor jumping ability. But that's why I died there. But see, in this phase, I believe I can only sustain one hit and I'm done. Which is pretty challenging. Because when all it takes is one misstep. So you gotta be real careful. By the way, the soundtrack. Obviously, everyone knows the soundtrack. One of the most memorable soundtracks in all the video games. Yeah, I have a habit of doing that. You see how I hit the block and the mushroom went the other way and I just totally didn't get it? Yeah, I gotta be more careful about that, because that is actually a major part of this game, because if I get that mushroom, I can sustain more damage. Now I can't afford to get hit by anything. But because this is the first level and it's pretty easy, I think I can make it to the end, even if I am in Tiny Mario phase. Yeah, I'm just gonna run away from the Goombas, because I'm not gonna even take any chances here. I'm trying to win here. And yes, made it to the end of the stage. So that is World 1-1, and I made it to the end. Yes. Now it's time for World 1-2. And they make Mario go in the tube. That wasn't actually me controlling Mario. And you go into this, like, underworld. This is World 1-2. Check this out. See, again, I missed the mushroom. It's like, I really got to pay closer attention to that. So, again, another banger of a song. Listen to that music. Everybody knows that music. I like simple games, I mean, you can appreciate more complicated games. It's just, I like the fact that anybody could pick up and play this game and have fun with it. See, that's, in my opinion, that's probably what most games should be. See, look at that. You only can sustain one hit when you're in the Tiny Mario phase. And so it's just one misstep. I hit a shell, it hit another shell, it came back to me, and I'm done. Okay, now let's see if I get the mushroom here. Okay, see, this time I was smarter. I stood in the right spot to make sure I got the mushroom. I just think it's interesting, and I know this is common in Mario games, because they do this in the new Super Mario Bros. On the DS. Like, you start in that Tiny Mario phase. I wish you started here. I wish you started in this phase. See, I was able to sustain one hit, though. See, I'm being real careless, mainly because I haven't played this game in probably, oh boy, decades, I guess, maybe. So, well, I don't want to, maybe not yeah, probably more than 10 years. Probably more than 15 years, to be honest. Um, so I'm being more careless than I should be. Because can be a deceptively, I wouldn't say challenging, but more challenging than people give it credit for. Because again, all it takes, look at like one false move right now, I'm done. Now I have to be extra careful. Okay. Let's see if I can make it across the gap. Yes, I get some coins. And you notice how I'm not like getting all the coins. Like I didn't figure out how to get some of those coins back there. I'm just trying to make it to the end of the level at this point. By the way, I'm checking each pipe to see if I can go down into them, because I know there are some warp pipes in this game, and now, see, game over. You only get a limited number of lives, too. Also, the one thing I also like about Nintendo Switch Online, see how I'm doing this rewind feature? You can rewind your mistakes and stuff, which, you know, I don't know if you want to do that for a game like this, but you can do it. But what I did was I reloaded a save state that I had, because I saved as soon as I got to World 1-2, I saved the game, or created a suspend point is what they call it in Nintendo Switch Online, which I really like. It really comes in handy for when you're playing these games on here. I am of the opinion that every video game should have the ability to save the game at any time you want. You shouldn't have to reach a certain checkpoint or a certain level or none of that. See, that is the proper way to use a shell in this game. That's the first time I've seen myself actually use a shell properly. Now let's get some coins. Yo, whoever did the soundtrack for this game, I hope they got paid very well for it. Because, I mean, you're talking about iconic music that everybody remembers. I gotta practice jumping. I really gotta practice jumping. Okay, I have 1 life left. And then that'll be my last try for this video. Done. See you next time.